Hello, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started. It's right at 2 o'clock with the next webinar series from SONARAY on the tunable and adjustable panels. So in the first slide here, we have the 2x2s and 2x4s. We have recently here released a 1x4 as well. These are all what we call tunable. So with these particular panels, it can be controlled by a handheld remote or a Bluetooth wall control. And the Bluetooth wall control is wireless as well, runs off of a AA battery. You just stick it in the same slot where the typical switch would go, and it communicates with the panels. Each one of these are basically 3 to 5K. There's several different ways, which we'll get into it here shortly when we get to the remote, that you can change the color and the dimming capacity. Then, of course, the efficacy, we're about 110 lumens per watt. The housing around the fixtures typically are white. I know sometimes it's requested for silver. These typically do come in a white. They're IP40. We do have these installed in restaurant kitchens, so it is capable of withstanding the steam and some damp, just can't be sprayed down. We also have surface mount, aircraft cable mounting, drywall mounting. All of those are available through SONARAY as well. It's dimming, and it reduces the wattage of the panel. So you can hit 25, 50, 75, and 100, or you can do the up and down arrow. That'll actually dim it or raise it all the way up, or take it all the way down, and it's all gradually, so nothing's set. You can control and get the exact amount of light that you want. The wall sits, excuse me, I'm jumping ahead of myself. On the very bottom, the grouping. So the grouping, you'll see the 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are for grouping lights or grouping rooms. So if you want to control several rooms with the same remote, you can do that as far as hitting that number, and then you have full control of that room. And then also on your ID button there, that's how you can link up your lights. So you basically hold that for about 3 seconds. Then you'll notice in the room that you're linking your lights, they'll flash twice. That tells you immediately that they're linked, and then you have full control over the color, the dimming, the on and off. If you want to, on the 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the grouping, say you want those to come on at 50% capacity and you want them to come on at 4K, you have that temperature on there right now before you turn it off, and you actually hit the save button in the bottom right. Once you do that and you turn your fixtures off in that office, when you come in the next day or later in that day and you turn it on, or whenever you turn it on, it'll always come back at that exact setting. So that is the advantage of the handheld remote that the wall switch can't do as far as setting that temperature. On the wall switch on the right, of course, has the on and off, and then your CCT is the color temperature. So that one will just give you the 3, the 35, the 4, and the 5. It's pretty much standard. On your dimming, you'll see on the left, it's basically a slide switch. So you can up and down as far as you want or down as low as you want. These basically go 0 to 10. So when they go all the way dim down, they're not completely off, but they're about, I think it's about 2 to 3%. So they're very controllable. You'll get these instructions with each remote, and we do price the remote separate from the panels because you may want 40 panels, but you only want 1 remote. So as far as the distance, the remotes can control as far as about 100 foot as far from the control itself. As for the lights, you can link pretty much as many as you need to, but it's about distance because these are all Bluetooth. So there's no Wi-Fi connection or anything needed. They actually communicate by Bluetooth. And you'll see the instructions on the sheet there that comes with the remote, tells you the programming, the grouping, the IDs, everything is there, self-explanatory as well. And same thing with the wall switch. You'll have this sheet come with the wall switch, shows you the grouping. And I didn't go over this a while ago. On the grouping with these, you actually just hold the on and off at the same time. You hold it for about 3 seconds. And again, the lights that you're grouping to or you're connecting to will flash twice. When they flash twice, you know immediately you will have full control over those lights in that area. So here's just some of the applications that's been done. Of course, hospitals, offices, corridors. We have done some facilities where several receptionists or secretaries in the same room. That is an advantage of these. This particular was an industrial setting, and each receptionist had their own control. So if somebody wanted 5K, they can control the light above their desk at 5K. If somebody 2 desks down wanted 3 or 3,500, each receptionist and project manager had control of the light temperature that was above their station. So it can, once you link it, so if you link it to your station, it will not control the station next to you. They actually had the wall switch engaged as well, the standard wall switch. So that way, if they wanted to turn the whole office off, they could. And then if somebody left and they just wanted to do their particular panel above their desk, they could kill it with the handheld remote itself. So a little bit different from the tunables is we have adjustables. These are new for us as well. We have the 2x2 and 2x4. We do not have the 1x4 in this series yet. You'll notice the different wattages. So on the driver switch, or on the driver box, you'll have 2 switches. One for the wattages, for the 2x2 and 2x4, and you can see in the slide there it is different wattages, which is basically controlling your dimming and your output. The color temperatures are also selector switches. So 35, 4, and 5, you can flip the switch to where you want it. Efficacy is a little bit more better with these because we do use different chips as far as the output, a little bit different being able to dim them up and down gradually. And again, the housing, pretty much the same. It's all stainless steel. The trim around these, again, are going to come in white. They will not be silver. They will be white. And all polycarbonate lenses. So if you accidentally hit the lens or it gets bumped by something with a broom or a handle, these will not shatter. So you're not going to have any glass come down in the office. You're not going to have anything like that as far as material and particles. They're all UL listed. This one is a little IP20, which is a little lower than the tunables. You don't want to have a lot of steam or water capacity to these because they're not listed for that. The surface mounting, drywall, aircraft cable, we all offer that as well. Pretty much standard. And all the driver and the back of the panel is sealed. So you can get into the box to do the connections. It'll basically take 2 screws out. Then you have a switchboard. You'll put your feed into them as far as your live, your neutral, and your ground. It's a quick connect. You'll push the button, slide the cable in or the wire in. When you let go, it's automatically locked in. Then you'll close up the box. Once you put power to them, that is when you start linking them to your either remotes or you do your selector switches, and that's where they'll end up. So this gives you a quick picture of the color. Your actual wattage will be on the other side, but it's literally just a switch. You'll slide it to whatever temperature you want, and then it's set. Again, with the tunable remote, you can change it at will with the remote. The adjustables are pretty much, once you set it, that's where it is unless you pull it back out of the ceiling and then move it. That pretty much concludes the panels on their own. When we price all these panels, again, freight is included. You don't have to figure those in. We don't have any minimums. And pretty good turnaround as far as stock. So within a couple weeks, if we don't have them in stock, we can usually get them to you. So I will start on the questions. I think we have a couple. If Justin wants to relay those, we can go from there.
Yeah, the first 2 questions that we had were just on certifications, which I've answered.
Oh, okay. They, just to give everybody else, they are UL listed. So. As far as the DLC, these have not been yet that I know of. I know they've been put in. We're just waiting for the approvals. So if you let Justin know who that is, which we should be able to have your email address already, we can let you know how that goes.
All right, we have someone asking about a high voltage panel.
The ones we have now are typically the 100 to 277. We do not have a high voltage right now. That's not saying we couldn't look into that. So it's basically changing the driver. We would have to look for basically a high voltage driver and see if that would fit with the unit and with the capacity of the chips. So we could actually get back to you on that one. This is a quiet bunch today. All right, well, if there's no other questions, I will say we're going to record this. We'll send it out to all the reps and the attendees online right now. You'll have this to share with customers, architects, whoever you would like. We would, is there another question? Okay, and I think another question popped up.
Okay. Yeah, on the UL listing, if it's CUL.
Right now it's UL. Now I will follow up with the CUL because I am not sure on that one. That'll pertain to the driver. So I need to check on that one. If you can take a shot of who that is, we'll get back to them. All right, if there's no other questions, we do have our next webinar coming up on August the 6th at 2 Eastern Standard Time. This will be on the solar part 2. So it'll actually encompass all of our solar products. And Justin, did another one pop up?
Yes, Thomas is asking about pricing.
Yes, now pricing, we actually have it on our new price sheet. So if you do not have our current price sheet, please reach out and let us know. We can send that to you, and they are listed on that price sheet. If you need an answer right away, we actually can send you a quick quote. All right, well, if there's nothing else, everyone have a great day, be safe, and we look forward to hopefully chatting with you guys over the next week or so before the webinar. And if there's anything we can do, please reach out to us. We appreciate your time, and we will see you on the next webinar.